Hi, Verbling. I hope you're all having a great day today. My name is Lauren, and this is a class on the active versus the passive voice. So I hope we get to see Larissa today because she is the one who requested to have this class. So that's great. I see that some of you are joining the Hangout. We have Mauricio. Hello, Mauricio.
Hi, teacher. I'm
Hi.
here again.
Yay! How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. I saw that you were here earlier today in the chat.
Yes, I didn't start the class
Oh,
because
you
it
weren't
was
able
full.
to.
No, because it was full.
Good, but you were still writing, which is awesome.
Okay.
Which is the best thing to do. Great. Welcome.
Thank
And welcome to Larissa. Larissa, thank you for requesting this class.
Thank you. Hi,
Yay!
Lauren. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine.
Great. Great. And welcome to Hamid. Hello, Hamid.
Hello, Lauren. How are you?
I'm doing great. How has your day been?
Time is 1 a.m., but I am fresh, and I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
This question is about chemical elements and symbols.
Uh-huh.
I will put some elements, and you will make a sentence, their symbols. Is it okay?
Okay, let me try.
Okay.
Oh, you're going to type them. Okay. Iodine. I can't figure it out. Can anyone else figure that out? What is it?
I am writing.
I think it's your name.
Is it my name?
I don't know.
Just watch it,
so.
please.
I am Lauren.
Yay!
Yay! I should know this. That is so cool, Hamid. Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
I have found maybe almost 3 minutes ago.
I'm so excited. I'm gonna share that with the Verbling teachers. That is so cool. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Thank you.
It is a chemistry secret.
I know, I know. Oh my gosh, and it's cool. L-A. Yay, thank you, Hamid. Okay, great start to the class. And welcome as well to Nihon. Welcome back, Nihon.
Hi, Lauren. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Thank you. You look great.
Really? Thank you. I had meetings today, so I'm wearing a nice shirt. But
yes,
my hair is there's no hope. It's always messy. There's no
No.
That's okay.
Come on, Lauren.
I like it this way. My dad says brush your hair. So maybe that's why I don't like to brush it. And welcome to Sand. Hello, Sand.
Hi everyone.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. I haven't met you yet.
No, it's the first time that I have a class with you.
I know, how exciting. Well, welcome to the class. Where are you from?
I'm from Mexico.
Mexico, great. No, you're not from Mexico, right, Larissa? You're from Brazil.
Yes.
Okay, I'm thinking of Blanca.
If you didn't know that, Lauren.
Oh, I know. But no, okay. We have another student who is, her name is Blanca Sand. I don't know if she's here today. She might join later, but she's also from Mexico.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Okay, great. And welcome as well to Aichu. Welcome back, Aichu.
Thank you, Lauren. How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Great, great. And welcome to Alpha. Alpha, I'm so happy that you're able to write in the chat again. We missed you. And welcome as well to Amr. Hello, Amr.
Hello, Lauren.
I'm so sorry about yesterday. I felt so bad that we couldn't continue our interview.
Never mind.
Good. Okay, and if there's any problems today, let's just hope there's no problems. Okay? Okay.
You are so beautiful as usual.
I am what?
So beautiful as usual.
Stop it. Stop it. Thank you, and welcome as well to Goliath. Hello, Goliath.
Hello.
Hi, Goliath. I really appreciated your contributions in the class
You're
chat
welcome.
today.
Yeah, and you also I want to thank you for your efforts for to teach us. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Goliath. I just want to tell everyone, Goliath was typing the whole class earlier today, and it's so good. If you can't come to class like Larissa does all the time, just typing in the chat is a really good way to still practice.
Thank you.
Yes, great. Okay, I think I said hello to everyone. Yes, I have. So thank you, Hamid. Hamid has just reposted the document we're going to be using. And I want to talk about the active or passive voice. I basically have a lot of explaining to do today. So I'm going to get you to read them out loud. Basically read the document out loud, give you some practice with reading out loud. And then I'm going to go on and explain things. So first, we have vocabulary. We have, before I can explain what the active and passive voice is, we need to know what the subject and the object is of the sentence. So before we continue with the document, does anyone want to try to explain to me what is the subject and what is the object?
Object is, for example, I, you, we, they, like that. And main thing, and this subject is a person, or yes, person.
Or thing.
Or thing, like animal or plant. Object
or anything.
is
any
yes.
object. The subject, so this is why I wanted to ask you, because many people think what Hamid thinks, that the subject is always it has to be a person or an animal or something. But the subject can be anything. Thank you, Hamid. And what else do you know about the subject and object?
The subject is...
who did the action? Who does the action? Sorry, what's your name? Sorry, Sand.
No, doesn't matter.
You can talk. Okay.
What were you going to say, Sand?
Yes, the same. The subject is the most important of the sentence, and the object is in second place.
And in what way? How? If you can go further.
Yeah.
Go.
No, the subject to the responsible of the action, and
exactly.
the object is one or which the action is doing on it. For example, I bought I don't know, a laptop, so the subject is I, and the laptop is the object.
Exactly. That's a great, Goliath, a great explanation. So what he's saying, to go over this again, the subject is the doer. This is the person who is doing the action or the thing. For example, the cake fell onto the floor, or the cake fell to the floor. Okay? The cake is not a person. right? But it is doing a verb. It is falling. So the subject is the cake, right? The cake fell onto the floor. The cake, so that in this situation, the cake can still be the subject. Or the table broke. The table is not a person, but it is the subject of the sentence. It is doing the verb, right? The verb is to break, and the table broke. So this is just a very common misconception. So when people don't understand, when people think one thing, but the truth is something else, that's a misconception. So I just wanted to make that clear. The subject is not just the most important, and it's not just a person. It's just the thing that is doing the verb. Okay. The object is what is maybe getting the verb done to it. So we're going to keep going with this. But first, I'd like to welcome Andre. Welcome to class, Andre.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
bro.
How are you today?
Fine. Now I'm better.
Now you're better because verbling is your love.
Yes.
We know. Great, great. So I'm going to start screen sharing this document. Andre, did you get access to that document?
So far not.
No? Okay, here. I'm sure Hamid is already helping me out. But let's see if I can beat him to it. Oh, there he is. And Larissa. There you go.
Thank you.
Such nice classmates.
Yes.
Okay. So, we kind of understand the subject and object, but Aichu, can you just read this over just so that it's very clear? This part for me, please.
Okay. Subject versus object of a sentence. The subject is the person or thing doing something, and the object is the person or thing having it done to it. Consider the sentence, I love you. What is the object and what is the subject? See
So
that
Aichu, before you continue,
yeah.
I love you. What? I love you, okay? I can't help it.
We do too. We do too.
So Aichu, I love you. What is the object and what is the subject in that sentence?
The subject will be I.
Exactly.
That's
and
me.
the object will
Or
be
us.
you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are an object.
Exactly. That's not very nice. I'm just kidding. Great. So, and this is interesting too, right? Because think of it this way. You are the object of my affections, right? So you is the object. You. And then we have I, which is a subject, just like Aichu said. Okay, continue, Aichu.
See the table below for a more in-depth lesson about which pronouns are used to show it is the subject or the object of the sentence.
Great. So I'm not going to go through this too much right now because we want to talk about active and passive voice. But if you look at this here, we've got the subject pronouns like I, you, he, she. Like she likes ice cream. She likes ice cream. These are pronouns. So I'm just talking about pronouns as like a side lesson. When you're doing the pronoun to be the subject of the sentence, these are the ones you use here in red. Okay? But, or they. But look how it changes when you want to have them as object pronouns. Instead of I, you have me. Now, the me is not doing anything. It is not doing the verb. It is the thing, the object, that is having the verb done to it. Right? That's why we change I to me. You would not say, me kicked the ball. You say, I kicked the ball. Over here we have, John kicked the ball to me. You would not say, John kicked the ball to I, because this has to be the object of the sentence now. Me is the object. This is what is getting the action done to it. It is not doing the action. So that's just a quick little table here. I put it there so if you want to go home and study those, this is great example chart here. But let's keep going. I want to get on to explaining the active and passive. So Alpha, is your microphone working today?
What a surprise.
Oh,
Oh, I know, but still, Nihon, we can hope. That's okay. Okay, Andre, why don't you start reading this for us?
okay. Activity versus specific voice. An activity sentence, the subject does the action to the object. Example, John ate the cake.
Good. So that's an active sentence because we have an active sentence. The subject is doing the action to the object. So what is the subject and what is the object in that sentence, Andre?
The first one is John.
And John is what? The object or the subject?
The subject.
Mm-hmm.
The cake is an object.
Perfect. Exactly. Okay, keep going.
In a passive sentence, the action is being done to the object by the subject. Uses by, whether present in the sentence or implied. Example, the cake was eaten by John. Here, the cake in the subject, but is not doing any action. It's a passive.
Good, good. Okay, so we have over here, the cake was eaten by John. So over here, we have the verb. So do you see how this is underlined in green? Do you see that? Is yours underlined in green?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that? You can see it on my screen because Microsoft Word, which is the program I am using, it is saying you made a mistake. Now, can you see if let me see if you can see this. When I right click on something like this. Oh, you can't see that. Okay, I just right clicked on this sentence. Right clicked. And it is trying to tell me change this sentence to John ate the cake. It's trying to tell me don't use passive voice because often passive voice is not a very good idea, but sometimes it is. But we're going to go talk about that after. So over here we have the cake, which is not doing anything. But we have it, the verb that is attached to the cake is to be, right? We have the past tense of to be, which is was. But this is the passive voice, again, because we're not having an action being done. The cake is not doing an action, right? It is being eaten by John. That's why I put over here, it uses by. Whether present or whether it is implied. When I say it might be implied, you might just have something that says, the cake was eaten, right? Here, the cake is not eating anything. It is not doing anything. There's no verb here other than was, right? The cake is passive. It's not doing an action at all. So here, the by is implied. You could have this as implied. Let's say you took out by John, right? That's what I mean by it has by whether it is actually in the sentence or whether you just know it could be in the sentence. The cake was eaten by someone. The cake was eaten by John.
May I say a comment?
Please do.
To make the difference between active voice and passive voice, because sometimes it's getting confusing. In the active voice, the subject is very important. And it mentioned the action, it's the spotlight is on the subject, but in the passive voice, the object is the important, but and the subject we don't care, it's not really important. So I can say the car was stolen. We can say by a thief, and we can omit this. So it's not important to mention by who, but the object is important, and the action upon the object is important. So that's make me to fix what is the difference between the passive voice and the active voice.
That's a really, really good way to describe it. And I love that you said that, Goliath, because soon we're going to talk about how politicians use the passive voice to their advantage. because they don't want the focus on the subject, which is them. They want the focus on the action.
So I anticipate the explanation or what I thought.
Yes, you did, and I love when students
sorry.
do that. No, that's good.
I didn't read the document. It
Oh,
was
I didn't think you did. I can just tell your brain is one step ahead of us. So that's really good. That's really good, okay? Okay, thank you for that explanation. So for those of you who were listening, he's saying that for active, the subject is very important because it is doing the action. It's the focus of the sentence. John ate the cake, right? We're focusing on the fact that John ate the cake. John did this. But if you turn it to the cake was eaten, even if you have the cake was eaten by John, the focus is on the action. The focus is on the action instead of the subject. So let's keep going and we'll get to more examples like that. Thank you for reading, Andre.
You're welcome.
Great. So Goliath, would you start reading for us now over here?
Which part?
Is passive voice always wrong?
Yeah. So if is passive voice.
Oh, actually, you know what?
What?
Yay, we're almost there. Keep going. Keep reading. Sorry.
Is passive voice always wrong? Passive voice is not wrong, but it can be a poor way to present your thoughts. Passive sentences are often not the best way to present your thoughts and can be wordy.
Do you know what wordy means?
I don't know. To keep promises?
Ooh, that's a good guess, but no, that's a really good guess. What do you guys think wordy means?
Long expression.
Pardon me?
Long expression.
Not wrong expression, but long. Oh, long, yes. Yes, exactly, Hamid. Too many words. That's all it means. Too many words. For example, okay? Here's an example of two passive. So I have here. Oops, and then she. Oops. And then the shed. The shed is just like a little thing you have behind your house that has different tools and things that you use, like a lawnmower. So we have the car was washed by me, and then the shed was cleaned by my friend. Look how many words are there, and compare that to this. Okay? Look how many less words there are. So this one has 15 words. And this one has, how many words is this? This one has 10. So if you think of that, the fact that this one is a lot more wordy, sometimes you don't want to use passive voice. If you are writing an email to someone or writing a paper, often we don't use passive voice to express our thoughts because it is less clear. This one is easy. I know exactly what happened in this one. But this one has so many words that if you have, oh, I'm sorry about that. But if you have too many words, people get confused. So in general, most people recommend not using the passive voice. But Goliath, keep reading and we're going to talk about what you were just talking about.
Okay. So when is passive voice used?
Mm-hmm.
Passive voice is often used by politicians to obscure who is actually going to be taking an action. For example,
I was going to say, look at that sentence there.
Mm-hmm. Which
right?
one?
Look at this sentence. Passive voice is often used by politicians.
Yeah.
So I don't say politicians use passive voice.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
and the reason is because I'm trying to emphasize, well, this is one of the ways that passive voice is used.
Yeah.
And then later on I might say passive voice is also sometimes used by other people. So the focus is on the action.
But this is sentence is a passive voice.
Yeah.
What a coincidence. Okay. Yeah. For example, instead of saying I will lower taxes, they might say taxes will be lowered. Instead of saying our party will change the laws, they might say the laws are being reviewed for change. These second passive sentences obscure the object of the action, who is going to lower the taxes, who is going to review the laws. Because if he fail, I think he will be I think sued or pursued or persecuted.
Exactly.
Yeah, they want to blame him if he fails, so he will be acting in the shadow.
Exactly, Goliath. And where is the focus? If I say I will lower taxes, how is this different from taxes will be lowered? Where
The
is the
first one is
focus?
arrogant, I guess. Who are you? Are you a god? I
Well,
will lower taxes. I
No,
think it's
because
arrogant. They-
if someone make a promise, he will be blamed if he fail. So they will, yeah.
But you know, when they say taxes will be lowered, who is the government, and you know who is responsible. But more polite way second.
No, it's a way of
It's my opinion.
Yeah. It's a politician speech to keep the politician not in the spotlight. So they will trick the population and say we will lower the taxes, and they will wait until the end of the world.
It's not a big decision. It's not a big trick.
I think this is a really good debate because this shows you both understand, both of you understand that the passive voice has implications. And implications, they say something. Just using the passive voice is not passive. It is saying something, right? So, Goliath, you're saying politicians don't say I because they don't want the focus to be on who is going to lower the taxes. When the taxes are not lowered, people will not say, but you said you would do it. They can't blame him. But then Nihon is saying, but the passive voice is less arrogant. And you're absolutely right, Nihon. For example, here's an example. Verbling, these classes take very long to prepare. The classes take very long to prepare. Or, hang on, let me think of a better example. Even saying something like, the 2-hour class was prepared, as an example. The 2-hour verbling class was prepared, okay? This is less arrogant than me saying, I prepared the 2-hour class, right? Especially if you are talking about a list of things. So if you say, the 2-hour class was prepared, the class took very long to be prepared, okay? Things like this. This is better than saying, I spent so much time, I did this, I did this. And this would be the argument politicians might use if someone said, well, you keep writing your speeches in the passive voice because you don't want to take responsibility. They could say, well, it's actually more polite to write in the passive voice. They could say that, absolutely.
Have you seen a politician not arrogant in your life? So it's the context is they are keeping away their responsibility because they
Sorry, but
yeah.
their speeches don't be like arrogant. It could be polite way. If I say I built this building, it's arrogant way. But this building is built in 1999.
I won't argue. I won't argue. But if something, okay, if someone do something good, he will say it's me, a politician. And if something it's wrong, he say it was made by, or he will use the passive voice. That's what I think.
I actually think you're both on the same side. I really do. I really think you're both on the same page. You see, you can tell. The important thing here is whether you, who cares what we think about the politicians? The point that you understand is that the passive voice takes the attention away from the person or the thing that did the action. This makes the person, sure, in many situations seem less...
Lauren, one more example. When I write emails to our clients, if I write this way, I will send your products, blah, blah, blah. I guess it's an arrogant way to say I will. But when I say your products will be sent in Tuesday, it's more formal and less arrogant. It's my opinion.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what Goliath is saying. He's saying when they do something good, they use I or we. We, my party, built this building. But then they will say taxes could not be lowered. They don't say we could not lower the taxes. Do you see? Because one is a little more arrogant. They're saying, look what we did. Look at the good things we did. But the other things were done, period. They don't say we did the other bad things. But you both are agreeing. You're saying one is arrogant and one is not. That's the important thing here. Okay?
Okay.
And you're right, Nihon. In a business sense, using the passive voice is a much less forward way of saying something. And it can be much more appropriate and polite. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to say, I will do this for you, and I will do that, and I will work so hard, and I. Right? You want to be more professional and say, your products will be shipped to you at this time. Right?
Yes.
You're absolutely right. Okay, so let's continue. This is really good conversation because these are different uses of the passive voice. Because before I said, sometimes the passive voice is too wordy. It might not be the best way to describe your feelings, right? But over here, and the reason for that is because you want the focus to be on the subject, right? But over here, sometimes you don't want the focus to be on the subject. You don't want you to be looked at or the doer to be looked at. So let's move on to Hamid. Hamid, can you read this next one for me?
Okay, passive voice is needed sometimes. The cookies were stolen. Focus is on the cookies versus someone stole the cookies. Confrontational.
Okay, I should have said not focuses on the cookies, but focuses on what? For up here.
Stolen.
Exactly. The action. Right?
Yes.
Exactly. Right? And over here, why do I think this one is confrontational?
Someone?
Yeah, because now you're blaming someone. You're saying someone stole the cookies. And if I said, for example, here's a really good example of what Nihon was saying. It's more polite. If I said, someone's making noise, everyone will be like wanting to say, it's not me, Lauren, don't think it's me, I'm not making noise. But if I say, a noise is being made, this is much less confrontational because I'm not, and the focus is not on who did it. The focus is, well, there's a problem because we hear noise.
Less stressing.
Less stressful, exactly. When your parents say, someone spilled milk all over the fridge. Someone did this. And everyone in the house is going to say, no, it wasn't me. But if they say, oh, there was milk spilled in the fridge, right? Milk was spilled in the fridge. Milk was spilled. This is an example of the passive voice where the doer of the action is not present in the sentence. Well, then it doesn't matter who did it. The point is, we spilled milk, so now let's clean it. Someone spilled milk, doesn't matter, but milk was spilled. And that gives the opportunity to fix the problem instead of focusing on who did it.
There is no need to address or focus the specific person when we use passive.
For this one, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, and Larissa, try the next one for us.
The DNA, um, the DNA was sequenced. Scientific writing versus we scientists sequenced the DNA. Should not. Should not work.
Okay, so before I complete this sentence, we have up here scientific writing, right? The DNA was sequenced. Now, if we had over here, instead of seeing the DNA was sequenced, let's say you are reading a magazine, Larissa, and you see, we scientists sequence the DNA.
What a big deal.
What but before you think about like I guess whether it is arrogant or not, what might be why do you think they maybe should not write it in this way? Why is it better to write it in this way with an active with a passive sentence is better than this active sentence?
Because DNA to sequence action in DNA's nature. So scientists want to do that for DNA.
Well, not quite, because forgetting about what we're talking about, forget about the fact that it's DNA. In all scientific language, we see passive voice. So, Larissa, why do you think I want to say they shouldn't write it in the active voice?
Because it's research, and it doesn't need to say who sequenced the DNA. And the second one, when they say we scientists, it's like they are proud of themselves. It doesn't
Exactly.
sound good.
And the problem with them being proud of themselves is when you put a person there, one person or a group of people are now sequencing the DNA, your mind thinks, oh, well, there's room for human error. There's room for problems because you and your company want to succeed, and maybe your research is not honest. You think of the person doing the research, and you never want to think of the person doing the research. You want to think it is objective, that it is, all honest, done for the betterment of humanity. You don't want to think about a company or a group of scientists with their own motivations. The focus should never be on the scientists, right? So I like what you said here. You said the focus should not be on who sequenced the DNA, right? And what was it that you said after that? I think it was and it seems like they are showing off a little, right?
Yeah.
We did this. Then imagine reading a whole paper. First we did this. Then we did this. Then we did this. Then I did this. Then I did that. We don't care that it was one person. And if you think of one person or a group of people doing the science, the focus becomes on them and their motivations instead of just the science. So for a lot of scientific writing, we use, or formal writing, sometimes we use this passive voice. That's when it is really, really well used. Do you want to try one more here, Larissa? Oh, do you have a question?
And when we are doing a thesis, we use like that, the DNA was sequenced and,
Exactly. Academic language is sometimes put in the passive voice, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's try this one.
Your electricity will be turned off versus we will turn off your electricity.
Mm-hmm. So let's say your electricity company is giving you a notice. They're saying, Larissa, you have not paid your bills. So now if you looked at one of these, which one do you think would be better? And why?
The first one.
Mm-hmm. And is that passive or active?
passive.
Mm-hmm. And why is it better?
Because the second one is like imposing something. We will turn off your electricity. And in the first one, it's more kind of polite. Your electricity will be turned off.
Yes. Okay, I'm just writing this down. Yes. So the passive voice here is much better because it is more polite, and the active sentence is imposing, right? The focus is on the doer, not the action. The important thing is not that the electricity company is very mean and they're going to turn off your electricity, right? It's that your electricity was turned off. And this is always interesting because think about what would Larissa tell her friends. Would Larissa tell her friends, oh, my electricity was shut off? Or would she say, oh, they shut my electricity off? Or would she say, I didn't pay my bills? Where would she put the focus? So that's where what the active and passive voice is all about, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions so far?
Nope.
We're good? Okay. Let's move on to Mauricio. Mauricio, do you want to read this one here?
The star was robbed versus blank robbed the star. What if you don't know who robbed the star?
So let's say, Mauricio, you have a store and you are talking to the police, and you get into your store and you don't know who did it, but the whole store is ruined and things are taken. What do you think so you have no idea who did it. What do you think the police is going to put in the newspaper the next day?
Maybe someone.
Do you think they would put someone robbed the store?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And why would they do that?
Okay.
And I want to tell you that both of these sentences are both correct in this one, but it just depends on the purpose. So I want you to explain to me why the first one and why the second one, which one is active, which one is passive, and why would each of them work? What purpose does both of them have?
The star was Robert is affirmation in positive.
Yes, but where is the focus? Where's the focus in this one?
The star.
Yeah, and what about the store?
Yes.
Right?
And
The focus, the important thing here is that the focus is this the active or passive one here?
Yes, and the second phrase, I think the who robbed the store.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to write this down here. So for the second one, this is the active sentence. Okay. The focus is on who robbed the store. But now I'm going to go back to the top one here. The store was robbed. The focus is on the action. Okay? The focus on the action. That's really important here because the only difference between active and passive is that when it's active, which is this one, the focus is on who or what did the action. But when you're talking about passive, we don't know or care about the who. We only care about what the action was. What was the action? That's where the focus is. So if they put the store was robbed, the function here might be that they don't want to reveal that they do not know who did it. Maybe they don't want the public to know that they have not found the person yet. Right? And then Mauricio, why do you think they might use this one instead?
I think I wasn't I wasn't robbed in the store. Oh,
Well,
someone robbed the store.
yeah.
No, me.
Well, that's it. They want everyone to think, "Oh my goodness, there's a person running around our city who has done this horrible crime." The focus is on who did it, which is we don't know who did it. This is a problem. Someone did this. How could someone do this horrible thing? Exactly. Good, Mauricio. Let's move on to Nihon. So, Nihon, do you want to just read out a couple of these sentences? We've got more examples of active and passive, and then I'm going to give you one to do something with. So first read the first 4 sentences. Oh, Nihon.
For me?
Yes.
The science class with the comet. Active, what's comet?
Oh, a comet. A comet is like a star in the sky. Like
a shooting star.
Yeah, like a shooting star. Here,
It's made by a gas and it has a tail.
Yes. Yes, very true. I'm going to show you all a picture. Here. Ready? That's a comet. It looks like a shooting star in the sky.
Yeah. The famous one is Halley, I think.
Okay.
It came here 70 years, every 70 years.
Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like this in the sky, Meehan. That's what a comet is.
Yes, I see.
Okay. Let's continue, though.
The comet was whipped by the science class.
Right? So we've got an active one and then a passive one.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, here it's just very clear that there's no reason why you need to put your thoughts like this. It's too wordy, too many words. What's the point in having the passive voice here? The comet was viewed by the science class. What's the point? Why don't you just say the science class viewed the comet? Right? You're not making use of the passive voice if you're going to say who did the action. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You're telling me who saw the action, so why don't you put it as an active sentence? The only time you use passive is when you don't want to accentuate who did the action. Okay, why don't you read the next one, Nihon?
Who ate the last cookie? Active. The last cookie was eaten by whom?
Good.
It's
right?
wordy.
It's wordy, and it's like,
When
why?
you're speaking in casual speech, your mom does not say, I don't think so, the last cookie was eaten by whom? It's very formal.
Totally. It is. It's formal, but it's also unnecessary.
Yeah.
That's why we sometimes say don't use the passive voice. If you're going to tell me who, right, because who is right now the person who did the action. Who ate the last cookie? It's like saying you ate the last cookie or he ate the last cookie. So who is the doer? If you're going to tell me who did it, you should put it in the active voice. So remember that. The only time you use passive is when you're not going to talk about who did it. Okay? Okay, now, Nihon, I want you to go, we have this activity over here. I want you to do 2 things to this sentence, okay? At dinner, 6 shrimp were eaten by Harry. I want you to do 2 things with that. So is it a passive or active sentence? And then change it, so make it the opposite.
Okay. I can try. Harry eat 6 shrimps at dinner. Ate 6 shrimps at dinner.
Perfect.
Then 6 shrimps. How can I say?
No, that's all I wanted. That's perfect.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because we have, so what is this? Is this active or passive?
The first one is passive. The second one, what I say, is active.
Exactly. Exactly. So Nihon, you understand, do you have any questions about the active or passive, when to use either one?
No, I totally understand it.
They're clear, right?
Yes, thank you for it, Lauren, because
Good.
I know what is the passive and active voice, but I don't know how can we use and why it is so necessary. But in this class, thank you. I can
you're so
understand.
welcome.
That's why we are here, Nihan.
Oh, thank you, Captain Abuse.
Oh, whoa. Hey, we
Captain
love
who?
each other at Verbling. We are all love each other. We are a community, okay? So you two have to kiss and
And
make up.
we love the sarcastic way, you know, Lauren. We are joking.
No, we are family.
No,
Sarcasm.
what I meant, if more we learn, more we perfect our skills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Good.
Yes, I agree.
just practice here.
Because I am here at 2 in the morning.
It
Yes,
is
I agree
true.
totally.
Nihon's always here so late. But okay, so let's get to Sand. So Sand, do you want to have practice before you try one of these exercises, or do you think you can do one of these exercises and identify which one, if it is passive or the opposite?
Okay, yes, I can jump to the exercise.
Great. So why don't you read it first and then tell us if it is passive or not.
Okay, the savannah is roamed by beautiful giraffes. Is active.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. What did you say?
Is active.
Okay, and first off, why is it active?
Because is an action in the moment.
Well, when we talk about active, we know that the focus is on who is doing the action, right? And over here, we have the signal word, which is by. And this means that it is passive. Whenever you see this word by, okay, and then you see the doer. So this is the doer, right? Right now we're saying beautiful giraffes. Do you know what the savannah is?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're saying beautiful giraffes roamed the savannah. That's what we're trying to say. So why did we put the giraffes after? They are the doer. This is actually a passive sentence.
Okay.
Do you kind of understand that? San, try explaining that to me in your own words. Why would this be passive?
Okay, when you use the word by, it's passive.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I can understand like that. It's more easy for me.
Yeah, and now I want to show you something. Let's say I only had a period here and no by beautiful giraffes. This is still passive because this is the subject. This is the subject, the savannah, right? But it doesn't do anything, right? The savannah does not roam, right? The savannah doesn't roam itself. It is roamed by other things. It is roamed by the beautiful giraffes, but it doesn't matter. The idea is that this savannah is the subject of the sentence, but it is passive. It is not doing anything. The word passive means you're not doing anything.
Okay.
Right? Good. So I want you to first change this one. Try this one, okay? This one here. Number 3.
Okay. So change the flat. Oh, I can see.
Oh.
Excuse me, I can see.
Oh, you can't see? I'm gonna put it in the chat for you.
No, I can see.
Oh, yay.
So change the flat tire. So Su is make the action. That means that the subjects make the action. So it's active.
Perfect. Exactly. Right? Now, if you had to change it to passive, what would you write?
The flat tire changed by Su.
So you would have to say was changed.
What changed by Su?
Perfect. There we go. This one's passive. And I want to show you something here. Do you see that my computer is underlining this?
Yes.
Now, my computer underlines things in green when there is a grammatical problem. And
Yes.
when I try to see, well, what's the problem, and I click on the green line, it tells me to change the sentence back to Sue changed the flat tire. And why does it do that? Why would it tell me to change it back to Sue changed the flat tire?
Because it's a way more properly to say it.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're going to tell the person who did the action, you should always write it in active. That's a rule, right?
Right.
If you're going to tell me that Sue changed it, why don't you just tell me in an active sentence, Sue changed the flat tire? There's no, if you wanted to say the flat tire was changed, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who changed it, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm just looking. Poor Larissa got kicked out of the Hangout, I think, and I wanted to give her one last moment to try to do one of these because she did request this class. So I'm so sorry, Larissa. The thought was there. I don't know when she left. Yes?
I wanna say, if I remember, there is a form of passive voice. It's like it is said that the teacher is from Canada, for example.
The
When you
teacher.
when it is said or it is thought, I'm focusing on this. It's a type, I think, of passive voice.
Absolutely, Goliath. It totally is. It's like, who said it? I don't know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who said it.
Yeah, it's used in English. So it is said, it is thought, it is believed. I don't remember. If you can correct me.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Yep, that's exactly it. It is believed that you should not walk under a ladder, as an example. That's like a superstition. When we talk about superstitions, we do not say, many years ago, a man told people not to do this. We don't say who believed it, who thought. We just say it is believed. It is said. Right? It's a way of talking about what was said or what is believed without caring about who said it. Right? Thank you for bringing that up. That's a really common one. But okay, I've got to end class now. But I have another really useful class coming up about when to use the comma. So if any of you are like, I have no idea when to use the comma, feel free to join my next class, and that's what I'm doing next. So thank you all so much. And oh, poor Larissa. I'm so sorry, Larissa. You got kicked out of your own class. Okay, I put my Facebook and Verbling information, so please follow me on Facebook and join if you can. Larissa, you're back.
Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome. Poor Larissa. Larissa, I have to get to my
maybe
next
she
lesson.
can rewatch the class again.
Yes, actually, Larissa, I have a great idea. Why don't you just take number 4 until maybe number 7 and try them yourself. I put them in the chat there. Try them yourself and then message them to me on Facebook. Anyone can do that. I put them in the chat right now. Anyone, if you want to try doing that, do that right now. That's no problem. Okay? Message them to me on Facebook and I'll correct you.
Thank you, Laura.
You're so welcome. Bye, Nihon.